On the big stage of a World Cup semi-final, the Superman of Indian batting puts his hands up and scales Mount 50 ODI hundreds. India chased down a monkey that was on their back. World Cup semi-final against New Zealand. They've scored 397 for 4. Everybody among the runs, Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, everyone came, made merry, went back home, gave the crowd at the Wankhede a memorable 3.5 hours, a forgettable one for New Zealand. But it's that man, Virat Kohli, once again, 100 number 50 to do it on the home ground of his hero. He gave him the bow in front of 40,000 at the ground, 1.4 billion across the country. Virat Kohli is the batting boss of the world.
And at such a big stage, isn't it? Like semi-finals of the World Cup, everything has to go according to the plan. And Virat Kohli steps up. So I mean, this 100, because of that, yes, it's a milestone 100. It's been a marathon for him to get here. But to get at such a stage is very satisfying. I think those visuals were suggestive of that fact. Yeah. That it's a big game, the team needs it, and you go out there and contribute in such a manner is the most satisfying thing for any batter. So he's going to cherish this moment for the long time to come.
397 on the board, and most might think India have a foot in the door. That boarding pass to Ahmedabad might have already been printed. So great for the team, but every pore of Virat Kohli's body wanted this 100 on this big stage in Mumbai.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Zach rightly put that, it is a long journey. It's not a journey which has gone upwards all the time. He's gone ups and downs in his career. 50 hundreds is a huge achievement. I think there is no one better in world cricket who knows the pulse of that one-day cricket, how to score those hundreds in one-day cricket. He is far ahead than any other batter in this one-day cricket tournament anywhere. But yeah, I mean, 50 hundreds is huge achievement. When Sachin got his 49th 100. That was his 100th 100 in 2012. And people thought that 49th 100, the second best is 31, which Rohit had just reached. But otherwise, the second best was Ricky Ponting. The difference was about 1900s. And when you're talking about someone getting those 50 hundreds, and look at the innings which he has taken. 279 innings only. I know Sachin was batting at number 4-5 initially, but Virat's 279 innings and scoring a 50 hundreds. It's a huge achievement.
When Sachin retired, there was this event that he went to. Salman Khan asked him this question: you reckon anyone can break this record? And like a proud Indian, like this magnanimous, large-hearted man that the master Sachin Tendulkar is, said there are two in this very audience, Virat and Rohit.
Yeah,
and he'll be happier if it's an Indian who does it, and those two are earmarked for greatness.
Yeah, and look at what those two have achieved for the team. Between them, you have, in this format itself, you're seeing 81 hundreds between them. So that's remarkable foresight, something which, as a batter, you do see who's got that, those attributes. And I think for him also to know in such a short time, because Rohit was also around that time, maybe looking to cement his place in the Indian side. Virat was also in the similar kind of a situation. But for him to see that, knowing that these two have that potential, and Virat going on to getting these hundreds, and in such a style, again at such a big stage, with him in the stands. And Virat doing that nice gesture of acknowledging that fact that you've been the greatest, and I've been following you, and I've been chasing this number for a while. It can't be more satisfying than this, what he's achieved.
And this moment is as special for Sachin Tendulkar, and we all know how prepared Sachin Tendulkar always was in his career. And I'm very sure that he would have written a tweet well in advance preparing for this moment. Here's what that Superman of Indian cricket said. As soon as that 100 was hit, the first time I met you in the Indian dressing room, you were pranked by other teammates into touching my feet. I couldn't stop laughing that day, but soon you touched my heart with your passion and skill. I'm so happy that that young boy has grown into a Virat player. I couldn't be happier that an Indian broke my record, and to do it on the biggest stage in the World Cup semi-final and at my home ground is the icing on the cake. What a journey. And when you started playing cricket, watching a certain man, you get a chance to play alongside him. That journey starts with a prank. and over a long, long career, you reached this point where you've surpassed your hero.
Hey, that's something, that's the reason why you can see that acknowledgement from Virat Kohli on the ground.
Yes.
You probably have started playing cricket because just to see how Sachin Tendulkar was playing, and you basically of that generation, a lot of us started playing cricket and wanted to become Sachin Tendulkar, wanted to become to score runs like what Sachin Tendulkar did. And here's someone who has done that. Here's someone who has broken the record of 4900s. That's a huge achievement, and I'm sure it'll take time to to get the feeling of what he has done today, but maybe come tomorrow and he'll understand what he has achieved. I think that Virat, that adjective will become everyone will take, I want to become Sachin. Now this generation will say that I want to become Virat Kohli, and that's something which he has done on this big stage.
India versus Sri Lanka, Dambula 2008, Virat Kohli's debut. A look at the scorecard tells me Zaheer Khan was there. Memories of that young, brash Virat Kohli?
Well, I wouldn't say brash. I think he was just full of energy. Yep. He wanted to learn. He's been a very keen learner. Wanted to push the boundaries. That's something which he has done right throughout his career. It's his career, if you look at it, how he has shaped himself to be the example to others is remarkable. Someone who is always wanting to evolve himself, and I think fitness is something which stands out with him. You look at the way he's running those doubles also here. Doesn't matter what kind of conditions he's playing in. That can be hot, it can be tough, but he knows that's his formula of scoring hundreds, and he sticks to that. You look at his innings. Very seldom you'll see that Virat Kohli just walked in and started playing these big shots. And yeah, there are some days like that. You will see some hundreds where he's got going very early, got those boundaries early in the first 8-10 deliveries. But that doesn't happen always. Yeah. And with Virat, that first 15-20 deliveries you'll see, it's a pattern which he sticks to, gets into the zone, and once he's in, he makes it count. So that is something which he has been doing time and again, and that's why that conversion rate which you're seeing, just to 279 innings he has taken to get to 50 hundreds, that conversion rate is remarkable.
Yes, he was sussing out the conditions very early on in this innings, and he went about his business in a very controlled manner. But were you part of that pranking group that asked him to go and touch Sachin's feet?
I think you'll have to ask Virat this question.
Yeah.
I was certainly not part of that pranking group.
Maybe we will someday. Virat Kohli.
Maybe Yuvraj Singh. I think Yuvraj Singh.
It must have been.
Bajji and you will be there.
Right, but what a story it has been. And 2003, Sachin Tendulkar, 673 runs in a World Cup. Virat Kohli has surpassed that record as well, held by the great man for 20 years. Zaheer Khan, once again, was part of that 03 World Cup. Is it true that Sachin didn't really bat much in the nets? He was in that kind of zone. You saw Sachin very closely in that World Cup.
Yeah, that whole World Cup he was preparing in a different way. So wouldn't bat in the nets. He would get the side armour. Those days, actually, you're talking about 2003. So side armour is a luxury in modern day cricket. But those days we have to figure out a way of getting the practices done. He was in the zone. He was enjoying that kind of preparation, and he continued with that. Look, with batters and great players you've seen. It's about getting in that zone. It's about working on that feeling. You'll often see players talk about that. Stay in the zone, do what has been working. At times, get superstitious, stick to the routine. Yeah. So all those kind of things. So with Sachin, we've seen that. He was big on routines, and he's someone who was so good with adjusting what is required in a short time. So maybe for that World Cup, that's something which was working for him. He was getting a good feeling in the nets with a sidearm thrower, and he continued with that. So that became his routine, and it worked.
Parthiv,
And so I was there as well. So there was no sidearm then. We had to throw it with the
shoulders.
Throwdowns it was, and it obviously that come down to, we had hired a local guy who used to give throwdowns, and obviously being a second keeper also used to give him throwdowns as well. So that's something which you always have to do it. But Zach mentioned touched upon routines. I think that is something huge with any player, and once you know that this is my routine, and once you start trusting that, then you can replicate that innings by innings, and that exactly what these two great players have done. You see Sachin getting 100, and then you often see him getting 2 or 300s in that series. That's exactly what you see from Virat Kohli. Once he gets into that groove of scoring 100 in that series, often you will see that he scored a couple of hundreds in that series as well.
117 of 113 for Virat Kohli, batting at number 3. Came in when Rohit fell after that fantastic start that he always gives India, 9 fours and 2 sixes. But then there was another Mumbaiker who said, I'm going to get 100 on my home ground. Shreyas Iyer gets the fastest 100 in a World Cup knockout. Shreyas Iyer seemed to be batting like he owns the place. It was a dawn 100, wasn't it, Parthiv?
It was, and he was challenged earlier as well. New Zealand was right in getting Lockie Ferguson in, and then they tried to bounce him out, and Shreyas Iyer had that answer to it, and he obviously played a couple of pull shots, but after that, he was brilliant. He's just carried on the form which he has shown in this World Cup, and that's how you should be playing. He knows how to play spin. He uses his feet really well. He scored a lot of first-class runs on this ground, so he understands the slowness of the wicket or a pace of the wicket, and he comes down and makes it count. That's exactly what Shreyas Iyer has been doing. Every time he's gone over 50 or a 60, he's converted that into 100, and that's what you want. And that number 4, I think that is done and dusted now. No one's going to talk about that number 4 position anymore.
Well, much has changed from Manchester to Mumbai. Yeah. Take a look at that. Most runs from a number 4 or below in a World Cup edition. That record now rests very, very pretty with Shreyas Iyer, 526. 8 sixes, Zach. It cannot be attributed to it being a small ground because he was hitting them really, really big.
No, you got to make use of the platform, isn't it? You look at India's batting innings, first 10 overs, scoring 84 runs. Shubman Gill getting retired hurt at that stage. You again have to rebuild that partnership with Virat. And you don't want Virat to be under pressure. So he was the aggressor, and very, very quickly he became that aggressor in that partnership, which took the pressure off Virat as well. And that's why this innings needs to be acknowledged in that light. I think Shreyas batting at that strike rate made things easy in that middle phase. It also helped the team keeping up with the tempo which was set by the top order batters. So that was very important. You're seeing the total right now, 397. This was not possible if both the batters were batting at around 100, yep. So 100 strike rate. So that's something which was very important. Being aware about that fact and being ready to take on the bowlers was something which Shreyas Iyer showed that he was prepared. He had that approach and the mindset to do that.
India were 287 for 1 after 40. India have scored 110 in the back 10. Now Shreyas Iyer, when he was in 93, hits a big 6. Just goes for it. Just goes to show that it wasn't so much about his 100. It was about trying to get India as close to 400 as possible.
I mean, that's the thinking you get from every Indian batter nowadays. I mean, obviously they have a plan to play. They know that we want to play at the certain strike rate. We want to play a certain way. And if 100 comes in the way, it comes in the way. And then that's exactly what their approach has been. And everyone is playing that role perfectly. If you look at Rohit Sharma, he plays at a certain strike rate. Then Shubman Gill is there, plays the second fiddle. Once Rohit Sharma gets out, then Shubman Gill starts, up the ante, and Virat plays the second fiddle, and then everyone else comes in and starts to take the strike rate at a higher level, and then Virat Kohli is that glue that team rotates around. But yeah, Shreyas Iyer has been phenomenal. 105 up 70 balls. I mean, when the bowling side is not trying to get you out, you can feel that, and that's exactly what New Zealand bowlers were trying to do. They were not trying to get batters out. And when you're in this kind of a form on a pitch like this, it's easy to say that it's easy to hit sixes, but it takes a lot of hard work to get 205 of 70 balls.
This 397 storied skyscraper was possible because two men laid that foundation, very, very strong foundation, as has happened in pretty much every game in this World Cup. Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill set the tone really, went after Trent Boult, who was forced to bowl around the wicket. I think it was in his third over that he went around the wicket, Zach. It was almost like Rohit said, I'm going to take the game away from you once again. And he just goes about his business. Very unselfish, very typical of Rohit Sharma.
Well, that has worked in this World Cup for sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's been vocal about it, not just before World Cup, for a time, for a longer duration now. Since the time he has become captain, he's been talking about that this is what I want to bring in right now. This is the approach our team should be batting with, and it has worked. And he wanted to be the leader. He has been the leader. He has just given emphasis on the strike rate which he's batting at rather than the number of runs which he's scoring, which has certainly been the catalyst, I would say, to set the tempo very high from the word go. And that first box, it's like a broken record. We keep talking about it, isn't it? So if you're bowling first, you got to pick those 2 wickets. If you are batting first, you got to make sure that you don't lose any wickets in that first 10 overs. And these two batters have been doing it consistently. And he's actually doing it in style, because those 70, 80 runs allows you to take the pressure off in the middle overs. So if someone is bowling a good spell as a spinner, you can actually take time. And today's wicket, if you see, there was some assistance for the spinners in that middle phase. But that was not a worry for the batters, because the tempo is set so high. So when the bowler is coming in to bowl, he's already on that defensive mindset. He's thinking of saving runs, not taking wickets. And that is something which worked. You saw there was a little bit of turn, but both the batters were able to absorb. And maybe New Zealand missed a trick by not using Santner with the new ball.
Yes, 4 fours and 4 sixes. 40 of his 47 came off 4s and 6s. And this whole Bolt versus Rohit matchup was only a talking point in the studio. Rohit clearly knew what was on his mind and just went after Bolt, went after Santner and said, I'm going to attack your primary bowlers.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing with every side. Even if you look at Rabada, he came in and attacked Rabada. The guys were bowling well. He's gone on to put pressure on them. So if he, as a bowler, once someone is trying to get runs out of you, you drift away from your own plans, and that's what Bolt did. In the third over, he went around the wicket. He started bowling cutters, which is not his strength. His strength is to get the ball to swing in, and which he couldn't do it because Rohit was stepping down. We saw 1-6 hitting over cover. That's when you're on back foot. And Santner bowling that 6th over probably missed a trick. As Zach said, they should have bowled at 2nd over, because by the time he came to bowl, it was India was 56 in 5 overs.
Yes.
That's when you're not thinking wickets. That's when you are just saying that somehow I need to get rid of this power play, and whatever damage control we can do, we'll try and do it. But when your primary bowlers doesn't get you wicket and they are under pressure, then everyone else is also under pressure. That's when the team will always stay on back foot.
Safe to say that this is one aspect that has changed 180 degrees from the 2019 World Cup, which seemed to be more about taking the game deep. In 2023, it's about seizing the initiative and taking the attack to the opposition. That seems to have been the trend for India.
Yeah, that's something every team try and do it. And obviously India has been playing really well. Yes, India has been losing out on a semi-final, but whatever till India plays that semi-final, India has done really well. Even India lost to that Champions Trophy final, but till then India was playing good cricket. Now how to take a step higher than that, and that's something which Rohit Sharma thought. Now I'm a captain. I want the team to play in a certain way, and that's exactly what he has been doing. And as we've been saying that it's not that he's telling other people to do it, he is doing it.
Yes.
And once your captain starts to do it, everyone around you starts to believe that this is way a team wants to play, a captain wants to play this way, we all also will play that way. And this is not just skill on the ground, it is when you want to play a certain style of cricket, a risky style of cricket, where you need to give that security to all the players. And that's exactly what Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid and the management has given to player. That's why you see this kind of fearless approach from all the players.
Yes, India is really redefining batting in one-day cricket. 397 batting first in a World Cup semi-final. Rohit Sharma, the captain, is clearly the epicenter of what is looking like a royal campaign for the Indians. And Shubman Gill, retired hurt, 80 of 66. I'm going to ask you a big question. Is he looking like the man who's next in line for that big throne once Virat Kohli goes?
Well, look, I mean, this is how you look at it, isn't it? One guy has just broken the record, you're talking about the next guy.
We're getting greedy, sir. We're getting greedy.
But I mean, that's the way sports goes.
Yeah.
And in sports, one thing is for sure, you need heroes. For Virat, it was Sachin. For Sachin, it was Sunil Gavaskar. For him, Don Bradman. So it's like, it's always, that's how the sport and the history of sport goes. You need heroes, you need milestones, you need that number to chase, you need to set that goal. So for Virat, for Virat and Shubman now, the next, if you're talking about, for him, it's a good goal to have, isn't it? If he's chasing that number, you know that Indian team is in good shape because in the process, he's going to win a lot of games for the team.
Batting legacy in safe hands, you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, India has always been on the good batting side. Always whenever we talk about, as Zach mentioned, few names. India's batting was always in great hands. And now that with IPL coming in, the guys, playing a lot of first-class cricket, getting big runs. I think that is something is more important. People scoring hundreds. I think as a player, that's something which is a hallmark of any player. You want players to get hundreds. And now that Sachin has set the standard. Now Virat has set the standard again. He's taken it a step further. Now Shubman Gill would be chasing that. There could be Shreyas Iyer. There could be anyone here. There are a lot of players who are actually sitting out. Younger players we talk about. There is the India won the Asian Championship as well. So there's India's young generation is always doing well, and it has a lot to do with whatever is happening at the grassroots level, the first class level, the IPL level. So there's a lot of. It's not just the razzmatazz of IPL or whatever you see on the TV.
Yes.
There's a lot of cricket's been done at the grassroots level. That is the reason why we see players coming one after the other.
Any young kids watching? I saw a clip of Saurav Ganguly talk the other day. He said, player banta hai 4-day, 5-day cricket mein. So it's not so much, it's not only about the IPL. It's there's a lot of hard work that goes into playing red ball cricket, long format cricket. That helps as well. New Zealand, that bowling card has a centurion, gentlemen. Tim Southee, 10 overs, 100. Yes, he picked up those 3 wickets, but by then it was a bit too late. Bolt, very expensive as well. Mainly courtesy Rohit Sharma, who really disturbed Bolt's confidence. Mitchell Santner, very expensive given the kind of standards he set. Lockie Ferguson went at 8 and over. Rachin Ravindra, 60 of his 7. Where do you want to start, Zach?
Well, I think it's been a tough day. I think, that's something which was very evident. There was a little bit of help on offer, which maybe Santner used to a certain degree. And his maiden over and the analysis which you are seeing maybe is the most economical bowler in that. Other than that, there is nothing much to look at for New Zealand bowlers. I think it's something which they need to just forget now. When you have this kind of a day, you've tried your best. Nothing. It's just a strong batting unit going out there and putting you under pressure. Having a ball out there, things were not easy for New Zealand bowlers. I think the batters need to bail out the bowlers. It's not going to be an easy task. It's a mammoth total, but at this stage, I don't think in that New Zealand camp they're thinking about what happened with the ball.
Yes,
and there was, if you just look at the bowling card again, there was definitely a method to that madness. If you look at, there was only one bowler who could look like getting wicket was Mitchell Santner. An Indian batter gave them that respect. So he got away with 10 overs 51. Everyone else, India attacked, and that has been India's hallmark of this one-day World Cup. Whoever is bowling well, India is giving them respect, and around them, whoever's not having a bad day, they are making sure they're having a really, really bad day like this Team Saudi or Trent Bolt, considering 186 in 10 overs.
Did New Zealand overthink their bowling plan? Because you guys refer to how Santner maybe he'll open the bowling or use the new ball up front.
Or probably didn't think that way.
Didn't think at all. It can happen, right? In the big game, you either get it completely wrong or you overthink.
Though I thought New Zealand was trying to, as New Zealand's always played this kind of cricket. They always had that circle, and they'll play around that. But their best chance of Team Saudi bowling is with the new ball. If he gets that swing, he can get you wicket. Trent Bolt's best chance of getting wickets is to try and swing the ball, and that's what they tried. But I think 6th over was definitely a bit late. They could have been slightly more proactive with their thinking. Try maybe Santner bowling 3rd over or a 4th over. As soon as that ball's not swinging, you try and get your another best bowler and try and erupt the Indian batters thinking. This is where I thought New Zealand faltered in their bowling plans.
The teams that New Zealand have lost to were in the top half of the table, so they've beaten the relatively lesser fancy teams. I wouldn't use the word weaker. So clearly today, perhaps Zach, would you say that playing with only 4 proper bowlers has cost them, because Glenn Phillips was expensive? And so was Rachin Ravindra. I think he gave away 60 in his 7. Is that something that has cost them come the big game?
Not really. I think it was just a strong batting unit putting this bowling under pressure. Yeah. That's the way I've been seeing this whole bowling lineup and how it went in the first innings with the ball. Maybe that one tactical advantage, or they were hamstrung because they didn't have enough. Matt Henry not being there, who was the bowler in form, has not helped their cause right now. But their campaign has been like that. You've seen a lot of injuries in that camp also. At times, you're wondering who is going to take the field in that playing 11. But maybe because of that, they were not thinking more tactically, and they were just looking at giving the bowlers the best chance to deliver. So that's why Saudi was bowling with the new ball. So they didn't think tactically, okay, Santner would have been a better option, but they were more worried about then finishing Saudi's overs, and they wanted to give that best chance to Saudi, and that's how the decision making went, which didn't really help them.
What could help New Zealand? Maybe. I know it looks bleak at this stage with 398 to chase, playing against India, in India, at the Wankhede. One man of Indian origin. By the way, his name is not, he's not named after Rahul and Sachin. That story, that myth has been busted by his father. Rachin Ravindra clearly has been the biggest story from a New Zealand point of view, also from a world cricket point of view. Another star on the horizon, a big star on the horizon. Today is the chance for him to at least make a match out of this chase.
Yeah, absolutely. I think New Zealand will rely on him, and he's someone who can play that higher strike rate which you need to play with. I played against him in 2018, and I thought when he was playing as a bowler, playing for New Zealand A, and I didn't think then that he would improve that much and play the way he has been playing right now. And he's made a name for himself. He's scored runs against quality bowlers in a different conditions. So yeah, New Zealand would be relying a lot on Rachin Ravindra, and then hopefully from India's point of view, India would like to nick him off. Bumrah comes round the wicket and probably straight into slips.
Please say hashtag Guru, because every time you say that, it comes true.
No, every time I say hashtag Guru, it doesn't come true.
Okay, even with 397, look at us as emotional Indians, we take no chances. But 398 to chase, Zach. Kiwi openers go bang bang right from the word go, or do they say let's try and take the game deep, let's wait it out, and who knows, if Dew comes in, maybe we'll have an outside chance.
So you will have to make use of that new ball. I know that they're playing against Indian bowling attack, which if you look at the top 10 bowlers in this tournament, you'll find 4 names there from Indian team. So that doesn't help too much when you're chasing 397.
Yeah.
But I think they'll have to make the play from the word go. You need to make use of that first 10 overs. Take a bit more risk. You've seen Conway, how he goes on about approaching run chases. You've seen how New Zealand have approached their run chase against Australia. That was a mammoth total as well, but they got the game close. So I think that's something which they'll have to go back to, and maybe just go out there with all the freedom, because you got nothing to lose when you're chasing such a mammoth total.
Well, the Indian team is out in their huddle. It's going to get really noisy at the Wankhede Stadium. We saw Mitchell Sander not being as expensive as the others, and India have got Ravindra Jadeja, who would be really licking his lips wanting to bowl on this pitch. How crucial is he? 15 wickets, most by an Indian spinner in a World Cup, Ravindra Jadeja.
Yeah, he's been bowling really well. Every time there has been a slightest of help which has been offered from the pitch, he has exploited those conditions really well. He's been economical as well. So, Ravindra Jadeja, I think all depends on the Dew as well. Now, if New Zealand gets a good start, then Ravindra Jadeja will be important bowler, especially once if Dew sets in. So, with New Zealand also having a couple of left-handers in their side. So, Jaddu will have his task cut out, but I think all will depend on how Indian bowlers are bowling in first 10 overs and how New Zealand batters are approaching those first 10 overs.
Do we even need to talk about India's bowling plan? With 397 in the bag, in the first 10, how would you go about things? 3 slips, attack, or just...
I think that's what you'll see. You'll see that that kind of approach from Rohit's captaincy. He would give himself and the bowlers that chance of taking everything which is coming your way. New ball is going to be very crucial. If you have 2 wickets, 3 wickets, that's game pretty much over. So that's something which you have to walk in with, and yeah, for that you'll need slip positions for sure.
The highest prediction here in the studio was 351 by yours truly, and as an Indian, it's very heartening to know that all those predictions have failed and India have surpassed that number. 397 India have on the board. 398 for New Zealand to chase if they have to make that trip to Ahmedabad. At this stage, we pretty much know what the result is going to be like. But gentlemen, we got to do what we got to do. Predictions, first 10 overs.
62.
For? Let's have wickets as well today.
Yeah,
please.
1 wicket. 62 for 1.
Okay.
I think 55 for 2.
45 for 4.
Oh, you want to go home early?
It's okay to get greedy. It's okay to get greedy because believe in Bumrah, believe in Siraj, believe in Shami and the rest of the Indian pack as well. They will be fielding like there is no tomorrow. So it looks like it's going to be a very entertaining second half. Enjoyed. That's it for now on Cricbuzz Live. Make sure you join us on Cricbuzz Combox after 15.